All right, we turn now to Norberto Santana, who's standing by so patiently at the Orange County Register building. He's our political correspondent over there. How you doing, Norberto?
Ed, Ann, thanks for having me. Great.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on. Your story appeared in the Register today regarding the County Retirement Board appointment that's been drawing some fire. Give us a little bit of background on who and what.
This retirement system just generates fireworks on an almost weekly basis. Last week they came up with the appointment of Thomas Flanagan, who used to be the Chief Investment Officer over at OCERS, so the Orange County Retirement System. He left there, resigned in '05. He is kind of one of these, John Morlock tells me he's a maverick in terms of wanting to come up with a different way for accounting for public sector pension benefits. The danger of that for labor groups, and I'm getting a sense that this is going to be just one of those knockdown, drag-out fist fights over this appointment, is that if you go with the way that he wants to account for these liabilities, these public sector budgets will be crunched. Now, John Morlock will say that's exactly what we should do in order for people to realize the type of lucrative benefits that have been given out to these public workers. But now, with this appointment, there's also some questions over this man's connection to some of the financial institutions that sell these products to pension systems. And actually last year there was a state law adopted because up in Sacramento they started getting worried about a lot of these people sitting on these pension boards are actually going out, and also they wear two hats. They sell a lot of these investments to the very pension boards they sit on.
Well, they bring up Ryan Labs, and he's supposed to be working there. They said the opposition, I guess, says he works there, and the people there say he does not. What's the deal on that?
Exactly. I mean, at least, you know, when you work for a newspaper or a TV station, it's pretty easy to figure out who works there.
Yeah. You'd think.
Some of it, yeah.
With this gentleman, though, you call up to the Ryan Labs offices and you ask for Thomas Flanagan, and they tell you, well, he's not here today, but call back and we'll get you in touch with him. But then if you talk to the president of Ryan Labs, they say, well, no, he doesn't work there. But if you look at a brochure at a pension conference, it says Thomas Flanagan, Senior Advisor at Ryan Labs. So it's just kind of an unanswered question, and I guess in the finance world it's much tougher to figure out who's actually on your books.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm sure you'll keep us updated. Let's move on to a different subject, though. County Treasurer Chris Street drew some fire several years ago when he remodeled or redecorated his office and the office of his pool, his secretary, and the folks who worked under him. Once again, redoing the office. We got new carpet coming in. Is that what's going on over at Chris Street's place?
Well, again, this is, I guess, a politically tin ear for Mr. Street. We got a tip on the other day that they were delivering huge amounts of furniture over there, and of course we scrambled over there to talk to Mr. Street, and he proceeded to tell us that this was actually the second stage of that $1 million remodel that we had reported on about a year ago.
Yeah.
What most people were stunned with is that despite all the attention that got, he just moved forward with it anyway. And that has become now a classic Chris tendency, which is if he thinks he's right, he's going to move forward. He doesn't really pay much attention to how things play out in the public.
He's got to figure out. Some staff members turned this over to the union. Why did they do that?
Well, this was hilarious. I mean, we went over there and I sent a photographer over there to take a picture of the furniture that was coming in. I finally got Chris on the phone, and he told me about how democratic it was. The idea was to tear down the walls between managers and workers. And then 10 seconds after we finished that, the photographer calls me back and tells me, hey, they just threw me out of the office. They won't let me take a picture of it. Now, luckily, there was a lot of workers over at the county, you know, who are very incensed over that they get a lot of this heat from their pensions and from other things from the public, and yet these top-level managers continue to spend money, the public's money, on revamping offices. And even Supervisor Morlock took some heat on that when they redid the offices up at the county building.
Yeah.
So anyway, again, I guess that is democracy in action. They took out their cameras, took pictures, and then sent me the photos, which we put on the blog.
There you go. Very good. And there's your blog address right there for our viewers to log on to, get more information. Thanks for joining us again, Norberto. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All righty.
Take care.